Want to help support the channel? Then why not check out the merch that's available from the links below in the description. Help out the channel and get more phenomenal stuff for yourself. And now with that, let's jump straight into the video. Hello and welcome back to Manga Mondays. Today we're going to be reviewing Does a Hot Elf Live Next Door to You? Book 2. And I'm so glad that I picked this up, that I'm following this, because I'm generally really enjoying the story. I think it's really cool for what it is, and I think that, yeah, I'm going to be enjoying the series. We've got book 3 coming out very soon, but for now I thought that I would carry on and just review it up to now. If you're new to Manga Mondays, basically what this is, so I will talk every Monday about manga and what I kind of like and what I'm excited about, and there'll be quite a few things. So if you do like manga and you want to support the channel, hit like, favorite, comment and subscribe, and check out the merch if you want. And with that, let's jump into the review. So I really like the concept of this. I feel like it's a very fun read, and although this one didn't keep me hooked previously like the first one, I feel like it's still a very good story. I do heavily kind of like it, but I felt like some of the stories, the chapters in this kind of faded a little bit towards me, and I wasn't as hyped as what it was, which is a shame, but it's still a good book. I'm still not going to say don't buy this. I do recommend collecting this if you can find it. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, so it could be out of print, but for this right now, I do generally really like the story. I just feel like this wasn't as strong as it was previously. I think the main thing is I had to come back to this over and over again. Like, I could read a few pages, put it down and come back, and I hate the fact that it didn't kind of make me want to read all the way through. I think it was near the end that I did, that I just wanted to keep reading, but at times I would just put it down and kind of leave it, come back much later on and be all right with it. Now, there are 4, again, more chapters in this. The first one is a magical girl. Then you've got the shrine with Amos, I think that's the name, a manga, being ill, and a fashion shoot stroke video game. So there's quite a lot of parts in this, so there's multiple stories, which again I think would be very interesting when it comes into being an anime much later on. I think the main parts of this is I enjoyed the being ill part, the fashion shoot more than anything in this one. The art is really well drawn, so I'm gonna break this all down in parts, so it's just like, what are you talking about? So again, I really am enjoying the artwork in this. I feel like it's really well done, and you can tell like there's love and kind of like care being taken into it. There is lewd stuff in this. Pretty much with most mangas these days is that there's going to be some lewd things, as well as like kind of a harem is starting. I kind of see it happening straight away, and it wouldn't surprise me that we see them later on with at least or most of the girls that have either got powers or the landlady or whatever, or half the elf kingdom. I don't know, but I can see the whole harem thing starting up. I'm not against it. I think it's going to be cool. I kind of would have liked maybe not to have a harem in this, because we see it a lot in a lot of anime and manga already. So we've got Artemis is the new character. I see this character being the rival towards Surf, which I think is going to be a very interesting one mainly, but I feel like if they do it properly, I'll be all okay with it. I just don't want it to be a boring rival all the way through. The first part is the magical girl element. I felt a bit bored with this one, but mainly because it kind of starts off, there's some funny stuff in it. So I thought the character name was something, but Inosan is the main girl. I hope I said that right. And she has seen the stuff that happened in the previous issue or the previous manga. And with this, she wants to become a magical girl to kind of save him, to kind of protect people and stuff like that. So she makes a kind of a deal with this like dog thing that comes along. And the dog thing's like, hey, if you give this magical bracelet or this friendship bracelet, whatever you want, it will actually turn around and save, like, protect him. But it doesn't. It kind of turns around and brings all this bad luck to him, and she has to kind of save him, and it kind of goes along for some time. I did think I found it funny at the very end of this chapter But mainly for this, I'll talk about it in a second. The dog creature creates the contract, which then turns her into a magical girl. But at times that you see Surf like pop in and go like, oh, I sense something bad, when it's like, oh, there's nothing around, but it's all going towards Inidu. I think that's how you say it. How she goes towards that. And yeah, Surf like comes in and says, I can sense this dark energy. What's going on? Again, not a bad thing, but it just got boring over the same sort of time. And I think the only thing that made me laugh was at the very end, you see the dog turn around and be like, hey, can I come and stay with you because I've been kicked out of this? So yeah, I laughed at that because I thought it was just the way it's like, hey, I've caused you shit, you fought against me, you've beaten me, can I come live with you? And again, that's very anime-esque, and I kind of really like laughed at it. Next part is Kayuta is ill, so Surf and the landlady look after him, and there is a ton of hijinks which make me laugh so much in this, because you kind of see it in most animes, but this one just made me laugh because there was so much stuff kind of going on, and it felt like it was generally an interesting chapter. Mainly in this part of it where Surf's looking after him, you have like little things where she makes this porridge which is meant to be really good, but it tastes really bad. You've got a serpent snake that's meant to kind of look after it, to kind of give him like healing things, but that doesn't kind of work. The landlady is trying to kind of make him feel better by seducing him, I think. And it's more kind of like, you know, oh, if I can get this energy from you, you'll be fine. And it turns into a whole thing where it's like the landlady like starts to kind of give him a sponge bath, and it turns into kind of like, oh, he really kind of likes it, and she's trying to get as much like kind of energy, and it turns into something. Nothing really happens, but it's the part where they're both now washing him, like the landlady and Surf. And he's just like, yeah, I can't handle this, and then like goes to sleep. But the landlady, from when I'm reading this, the landlady gives him like a drink, and then all of a sudden Surf's looking after him, and it's like, oh, she's straight bang in the middle of that. It's fun as hell. The shrine story really didn't interest me that much. I generally was bored of it. In this story, Kaita is shopping. He bumps into Amino, which again just reminds me of Genshin Impact. But you know, she's like, oh, I need your help, like, could you come help me? So he goes there, and she confesses and says, look, you know, no one comes to this shrine, so my magical power's draining. I need people to come here. And it's a whole thing of them trying to get people to go there. So from stuff where you have like dances and stuff like that, which is pretty much similar to what we've had previously. I wasn't a big fan of it, and I kind of really wanted to kind of skip it because everyone was just like turned up, and it's more like they say like Animo's like, hey, if one person smiles, then at least it'll be worth it. But I just generally thought it was a really bad story. I didn't like this sort of part, and I think when I was reading it, I was like, I kind of really want to go past it. So they make music videos, they make stuff, and it does kind of bring people in, and it saves the shrine, and she gets her powers back and such and such. It just, to me, was a bit annoying, but at the end she's like, you better come back and visit me. I was like, there's the horror room thing, it's getting all the ladies. That's literally all it is. The fashion shoot one, really enjoyed. It's effectively he's going to hand in his manga, and Surf gets asked if literally she wants to model, so they do some modeling and some clothes and stuff like that, and it's generally a nice quick read because I generally like that part. It felt like it was more interesting than what's coming up, which is the video game one. I wasn't a big fan of the video game one. I generally was a bit kind of bored with it. So in the story, in the video game one, is that they get kind of sucked in because, you know, there's a new console type thing, and they want to kind of put together like who would be better. So Artemis is the main bad guy for this chapter, and it's such a stupid thing that makes you go, I want to be your enemy, is mainly because of the fact that Surf got a really good high score on like their version of YouTube and social media, where they got tons of exposure and more views, and it's taken it off for what Artemis does. And it's just this whole fight thing where I just got really bored. I was just like, it's not, to me, not a really good thing. I got very bored. I didn't really want to kind of carry on with it, but I carried on because I wanted to review it and I didn't want to kind of miss anything. But kind of looking over it, it's like Surf gets like a certain weapon. Kaita, what he gets is like a shovel or a spade, and he just kind of like, I thought he would come up with a broadsword at least, or kind of something big. But we have a big fight with like a dragon and stuff like that. No, it's a Hydra. And it just kind of goes on from that. And then Artemis comes and lives with them. So like, I got sucked out from this world and now I'm in this. So to me, I kind of got a bit bored with it. I didn't really want more of it. So to me, I was a bit kind of like, oh, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, that was pretty much it. This volume wasn't too bad. It wasn't as strong as the original, as the first one, should I say, and I kind of really wanted it. Some of the characters are fun. There are good elements in this, and I'm hoping the volume 3, which when I will read and review hopefully very soon, I generally think that should be a good one at least. I hope it is, because I do want to carry on this series, and I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, I generally really enjoyed this one. I do hope the story does kind of pick up a little bit. I know this is obviously volume 3, so obviously it's not going to do straight away, but I kind of really want to see how this is. I do know that this is probably going to be turned into a manga. I know this is going to be turned into an anime because it has that anime vibe. So I would expect maybe next year, hopefully, that this would be turned into an anime. Or it could be done quite soon, by maybe the end of this year. Either way, I'm really happy for it. I'm looking forward to reading the third one. And I'm going to leave it there. So, have you read this one? I completely forgot the name of. Does a hot elf live next door to you? Have you read this? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit subscribe, as well as that cheeky notification bell. I will see you for another manga review next Monday, and more videos will be out on the channel. And with that, I'll leave it there. So if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you in a couple of days.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。